Hello and welcome to Granada Reports, live with the latest news across the northwest.
Hello there, here's what's making the headlines tonight.
The workers, united, will never be defeated.
Striking railway workers bring trains to a standstill. As we come on air, there are no trains going in or out of the northwest.
The remains of a second victim found amongst the rubble of a destroyed mill in Oldham.
A roaring success. Our Lionesses are in the final. All the reaction to last night's thumping victory.
The Ukrainian refugees invited to Everton's game against Dynamo Kyiv, being dubbed a match for peace.
I think I have become a football fan.
And the tide was out in Morecambe earlier on today, but so was the sunshine, with people enjoying a walk on the prom. What's in prospect weather-wise over the coming days? I'll have the all-important detailed forecast later in the programme.
So please stay with us for all of that. First tonight, the last trains have gone across the northwest amid the latest strike. Nothing is running this evening, and only 1 in 5 services ran at all today, bringing much of the rail network to a halt.
Well, the RMT union say there's a big gap to bridge in their disputes over pay and conditions. Network Rail argue the strike's pointless and claim union leaders won't compromise. Tim Scott reports.
Empty platforms inside.
The workers, united, will never be defeated.
And RMT pickets outside of our railway stations today. The latest talks to avert the strikes failed last week, a month since 3 days of industrial action in June.
The huge gaps on the departure boards behind me don't lie, and they perfectly illustrate the effects today's industrial action is having on rail services. Whereas on a normal day, around 30 trains per hour would be leaving the platforms here at Manchester Piccadilly. Well, today that figure has dropped to just 6.
We asked many people around Piccadilly Station for their opinion on the strikes today. All gave the union their support.
Good on them. I think they should be striking. They should be paid more.
I'm in favour of strike action, full stop. So, yeah, it's absolutely right. Just because they provide a public service doesn't mean that they don't deserve fair pay.
Looking at the timetable as well, it's absolutely bare. But it's understandable as well why they're doing it as well. There needs to be something done for the people.
As a household, we are quite impacted by these strikes today.
The strike has meant Professor Sarah Hall was unable to commute from Liverpool to Manchester for work today, and her partner has been unable to visit his sick father in North Wales. But she still supports the industrial action.
To strike is to look for a better future. This is not a decision that's made lightly. People do not strike without thoroughly considering it. It goes through lots of layers of decision making. Yeah. And even to be on the picket line can be a really difficult choice that people make.
Network Rail have accused the RMT union of walking away from talks and said the strikes could have been averted. The government too are accusing the union of ignoring their latest pay offer.
So they're holding their members to ransom. They're holding passengers to ransom. In fact, I think the hardline unions have been taking passengers for a ride for far too long in this country.
What's your message to members of the public today whose lives have been disrupted by your industrial action?
We apologise for the disruption it has caused people, but it's never an easy choice to take industrial action. This is the last resort. We've been talking to the government, but we're not getting anywhere with them at the moment. The proposals they put on the table are unacceptable, completely unacceptable to the union. It looks like they're digging their heels in.
Yes, well, as you've heard in that report, both sides in this rail dispute hurling accusations against each other with seemingly no end in sight. 40,000 union members on strike today and a rail network paralysed. Here at Manchester Piccadilly, we've seen very few trains coming and going. That's a picture which has been reflected across the whole of the North West and indeed the whole country. We've also had 2 North West Labour MPs defy the party's instructions not to join with the striking workers today. They did join the picket lines. They were Salford's Rebecca Long-Bailey and Liverpool West Derby's Ian Byrne. Now, Labour leader Keir Starmer has previously said that Labour should be solving, not joining this dispute. Meanwhile, the government want to push ahead with controversial plans that would see agency staff brought in to replace striking staff in a bid to minimise the kind of disruption we've seen today, although critics say that would merely provoke, not prevent any strikes. Meanwhile, the rail unions are claiming the government and Network Rail have failed to table any improvements on their previous pay offers which have already been rejected out of hand. It seems there's no easy resolution, but if this dispute on our railways isn't solved soon, there are more strikes planned for August. Vicky Rowe.
Tim Scott at Manchester Piccadilly, thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one, obviously not yet resolved at all. Well, next tonight, police searching the rubble of a burnt-out mill in Oldham have found more human remains, which indicates another victim.
Yes, officers are trying to find out if 4 missing Vietnamese nationals were in the mill when it caught fire in May. Our reporter Emma Sweeney's there for us tonight. Emma, what have police said about this latest discovery?
Well, Rob, Greater Manchester Police now say their search here at the site of this former mill site suggests that fire, which broke out in May, has claimed the lives of at least 2 people. We first heard of this story back on Monday, and that was when we heard about the demolition workers who had discovered a body last week, and now we're hearing that the remains of a second body have also been discovered. But police believe up to 4 people may have lost their lives here in this fire, and that's because they received a report last Thursday saying that 4 Vietnamese nationals were missing and that they could have been involved in a fire. So at the moment, police are trying to work out whether that report and what's happened here at this former mill could be linked. They say they're working with partner agencies to ensure that potential family members are being supported in Vietnam.
And Emma, do we know any more around the circumstances surrounding the fire yet?
Well, Vicky, police say that they're working hard to try and establish exactly what's happened, but they say they're not entirely sure at the moment. We understand that one line of inquiry is whether this site could have been used as a cannabis farm and whether the fire was started as a result of that. But I think it'll be some time yet, really, before we can understand whether or not that is the case. But in a statement today, police say any criminal offences which are identified as part of their inquiries will be dealt with immediately and appropriately.
OK, Emma Sweeney, thank you very much indeed. On to other news now, and 3 children are critically ill after a fire at a derelict building in Stockport. Firefighters rescued the youngsters in Hazel Grove last night. Police say it's thought the fire was started deliberately. They want parents to remind children about the dangers of playing in abandoned buildings.
Thousands of motorists were caught up in delays today after the closure of the M6 in Cheshire. 2 cars were involved in a collision. One of them crossed the central barrier. Both carriageways between junctions 20 and 21 at Lymm reopened only about half an hour ago.
MPs are warning planned investments in the region's railways could fail to address the north-south divide. A new report says other options for upgrades between Manchester and Leeds haven't been properly tested. The government says the £96 billion integrated rail plan is its biggest ever investment in Britain's network.
There's lots still to come on the programme tonight, including
free tickets for the Ukrainian refugees wanting to watch Everton play Dynamo Kyiv.
And it's been the driest July since 1911. Is there any rain in the forecast? I'll have the all-important details a little later on.
Right, well, we're still searching for someone to represent our region at the Daily Mirror Pride of Britain Awards.
Yeah, it's the glitzy awards night where the stars are ordinary people who've done extraordinary things. And it's where this year's National Fundraiser of the Year will be revealed.
Yeah, and if you'd like to nominate someone, head to our website. That's itv.com/Pride of Britain. You can only nominate individuals and they must be aged 18 years or over. The closing date is Friday, the 12th of August, and full terms and conditions can be found on our website. And what a glitzy night it is too.
It's very glitzy.
I met
Frocks.
Sharon Stone last year at the Pride of Britain. That's how
It's not
glitzy
bad
it is.
going,
Not bad going at all. What
Setting
a legend.
a very high bar there.
She let me look in her handbag and everything. She was absolutely
Wow.
amazing, so down to earth.
You can tell me more about what was in there later. Now, pretty much everything we do these days is online. Banking, shopping, even sending parcels. And in fact, if you don't have access to the internet, doing even the simplest of things can be incredibly hard work.
Yeah, it can, and as prices are for just about everything are climbing, people choosing not to pay for Wi-Fi are getting left behind.
Our correspondent Anne O'Connor has been to one community in Rochdale where the online world is being opened up to those who've previously been locked out.
Around Deeplish, deprivation sees a digital divide widen. Laptops and Wi-Fi, essentials for most of us, are an expensive luxury for many here.
Open the tablet, okay, and I want you to switch it on.
The community centre, a charity, and Greater Manchester Combined Authority are trying to change that.
Okay, so I want you to all open your boxes.
People living here can get online free, and some, who couldn't speak English at the turn of the year, have had training and are now getting tablets and SIM cards without the heavy bill.
Confidence level, I think, is and making a friends and some is very good for me in here.
Write email, chat Google, it was good. I liked.
I really liked it, and with the SIM and with the mouse, you can go anywhere and use internet.
It's like a food bank, but for internet data. And it's free for them because they're on low incomes, they're struggling because of the cost of living, and they can have this internet for 6 months or a bit longer if they need it.
As many struggle with heating or eating, searching and surfing has been unaffordable.
You know, that £10, £15, £20, it means a lot a month, especially if they're on benefits, which obviously they're not getting a high amount of money. So for them, that saving that money for 6 months and to be able to stay connected, it's been a fabulous project.
It's hoped the training they've had on the tablets will in turn save them money.
And certainly they can shop around, talking to the bank, reducing their journeys. Certain things they can do by sitting at home.
The area's councils and community leaders here hope all this will see a fall in what's being called data poverty. Anne O'Connor, ITV News, Rochdale.
To sport now, and what a night it was for England, and what a goal from Manchester United's Alessia Russo as the Lionesses booked their place in the final of the Women's Euros.
For someone like myself, like Ellen and Fran and those people who have experienced a lot of semi-final defeats, it's finally nice to get over that line.
Yeah, it's just astonishing, that goal, wasn't it? Absolutely amazing. And England now have the chance of ending 56 years of hurt after reaching that Euros final. And nowhere are they more proud of the players who've been delivered there than at Blackburn Rovers Academy.
Oh, yes, indeed. The club has played a vital role in the development of three Lionesses, Georgia Stanway, Kira Walsh and Ella Toone.
Well, our sports correspondent David Chisnell is at their training ground now, and he's got some very special guests who know the players well. David, first of all, though, can you tell me a bit more about a nutmeg and why it's called a nutmeg?
The famous Bob nutmeg. Oh, no, sorry, that's an in-joke. I accidentally told Victoria earlier on that that is where nutmeg comes from. It was Bob Nutmeg. But anyway, it's a long story. We're more important things we need to talk about, and that is because we are here at the Lionesses Talent Factory. It's Blackburn Rovers training ground. And as you say, 3 of the current Lionesses developed their skills here. Georgia Stanway, Kira Walsh, and of course Ella Toone as well, before going on to play for the likes of Manchester United, Manchester City, and of course England. Let's have a chat now with one of their coaches when they were here, who's now Blackburn women manager, Gemma Donnelly. Gemma, first of all, I mean, I'm sure you've been glued to the Euros. Just how proud are you of them?
Yeah, super proud. I mean, it's been a fantastic tournament. First off, last night's game was the pinnacle of excitement, wasn't it, just? But yeah, super proud to see all 3 girls, and they were featuring in last night's victory over Sweden. So yeah, can't stop smiling.
And when they were here, did you spot that talent? Do you think, yeah, you've got something about you're going to go all the way?
Yeah, it was just me. No, listen, we had a whole array of excellent staff in place, really good coaches that supported the girls for every need throughout their journey at Blackburn Rovers.
What is it about this place as well? Because obviously Georgia from Barrow, she had to travel hours to get here. Kira Rochdale travelling as well. Ella from Tildesley, Greater Manchester. Why was this place the hub?
I guess just because we'd had experience, we'd been operating for a number of years. We had a ladies' team that were operating at the highest level at the time, and so it was a great attraction for players to want to aspire to go and play at the top level. So we were able to nurture this talent quite quietly, but also in a really humble fashion. And this is what the results yielded.
Well, let's have a chat with some of their teammates as well, Natasha Fenton and Helen Seed. Natasha, first of all, you played with Georgia and with Ella. I mean, what were they like as teammates and as players?
Yeah, it was great to be in a team with them. We had quite a good team in that under-17s team, and you could just see with both of them, the thing that stuck out was like their hard work. They worked hard, whether it be in training, in games, and I think everything else just kind of came naturally and slotted in. As you can see, representing the Lionesses, it's a massive achievement for them, and I think it's well deserved.
And Helen, you played alongside Kira. Well, she's been fantastic in this tournament. Actually, how important is it what this team is doing for women's football?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think they're just highlighting the talent in football that we have in England and just how well they've been doing, hopefully inspiring a lot more girls to get on the ball and get playing.
Very quickly then, predictions for Sunday?
2-0 England.
2-1 England.
And Gemma, will come to you.
Yeah, well, we don't know who we're playing, but 3-0 and 2 need Georgia and Kira to score.
Fantastic. Wouldn't that be great?
3-0.
3-0. There we go. Fantastic. Wouldn't that be brilliant if that was the case? Well, here we go. Let me leave behind you now, and you can see some of the future Blackburn players, and who knows, maybe some of future Lionesses as well.
Wow. Pretty good scoreline, that prediction. Dave, thank you very much indeed. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Right, well, away from the Women's Euros, Manchester United have made their third signing of the summer after defender Lisandro Martinez completed his move from Ajax. The 24-year-old Argentina international links up again with his old boss, Erik ten Hag, after putting pen to paper on a 5-year deal. He's cost £48 million, but the fee could rise to £57 million.
Finally, staying with football, what about this for an example of how the sport can be used for good?
Yeah, on Friday, the Ukrainian champions Dynamo Kyiv play Everton in the UK's first match for peace. It's part of a European-wide tour to raise funds to support humanitarian efforts in Ukraine following the Russian invasion.
Now, as well as wanting local support, the Goodison Park Club want as many Ukrainians as possible to be there. Rachel Townsend has spoken to one Ukrainian family who've been living in Liverpool since April, and guess which club they've adopted as their new one? It's the Blues.
Oh, I've got one.
You've got 10 points.
It is 3 months since Natalia and her 6-year-old daughter Sophia fled their home in Ukraine and began to rebuild their life in Liverpool.
I want for Sophia to feel safe, to feel happy, because children have to be happy.
Natalia says she stayed in her home city of Kyiv as long as she could. But as the bombs drew closer and they were forced to spend a week in a basement, only leaving through the night to give Sophia a wash and some food, she knew she had no choice but to leave.
When you were woken up not by a husband's kiss, but with the explosions, you realized that something terrible, something awful happened. And since that moment, your life just changed. And everything that you had, it's just gone.
They felt at home in Liverpool from the moment they arrived, in part thanks to a big welcome from Everton. And their Ukrainian defender, Vitaly Mykolenko.
We met Vitaly and he gave us the t-shirt and he gave us a hug.
Since that time, I think I have become a football fan. Yeah, really.
Particularly Everton?
Yes, of course, because, for Everton, yeah.
And this Friday, they'll be back at Goodison again for the visit of Ukrainian champions Dynamo Kyiv and their match for peace. Well, the club are expecting a crowd of around 25,000 here on Friday night. And ahead of the game, Everton are offering free tickets to all Ukrainians living across Merseyside. And their old friend is looking forward to seeing them.
Hello, Natalia and Sofia. It was great to meet you at Newcastle game. I will see you again on Friday at Goodison Park. Take care.
On Friday, they insist they'll be cheering on both teams and just want their beloved Ukraine to be remembered.
If the world didn't help Ukraine, it would be the disaster, because the whole world would just suffer from this.
I like to be in Liverpool, but I miss our home and my bedroom and Daddy.
Sophia calls her dad every day. Their dream is to be reunited, at home and in peace. Rachel Townsend, ITV News, Liverpool.
Incredible. What a gorgeous little girl Sophia is, and what a wonderful idea. Well, tickets for that match are going fast. Our reporter Claire Hannah's been finding out more and sent this report from Runcorn a short time ago.
I'm at the Norton Priory in Runcorn this evening, and this is where some families from Ukraine who came here because of the war meet up once a week, and some of them have decided to join us tonight. Also tonight, I've got some of the tickets for that match on Friday at Everton, which is the first match for peace which has been played in the UK. And with us tonight we've also got Everton club ambassador Graham Stewart. So Graham, why Everton to host the first one?
Well, the obvious tie-up for us is that we signed a Ukrainian player, Vitaly Mikalenko, last season, and he performed very, very well for us, especially towards the end of the season. And we just want to welcome the Dynamo Kiev staff and players to Goodison Park, all the Ukrainian people here as well, and I think we've let go at least 1,000 tickets as well, so we're hoping for a really good turnout, so Everton Football Club can show our support for the Ukrainian people.
Because you have been a long-time supporter, haven't you, of what's going on and raising awareness?
Of course. I mean, you know, I think the whole country, you know, has obviously pulled together and recognised that these poor people have gone through, you know, a horrendous situation. So football as a community comes together, and we want to help these people as much as we possibly can.
And Everton, the People's Club, as always. We know that, don't we? And these tickets, as well as these tickets, there's something very special happening here tonight. We've got two children who moved here from Ukraine in April. Spit and Sophia, how are you two?
Good.
You've got your tickets?
Yeah.
And you're being mascots on Friday?
Yeah.
So, give us a cheer. Are you excited?
Yeah, we're so excited.
Do you like football?
Yeah, I like football.
And I'm going to ask you both a prediction. Now, we've got Graham Stewart here, so bear in mind what your answer might be. Who is going to win on Friday?
Friendship.
Friendship! Oh, what an answer! Absolutely perfect. These two will be walking out onto the pitch at 7:45 on Friday night.
Now that's the answer.
That is the answer.
I love that. Friendship's going to win. No score, friendship.
The power
Brilliant.
of football.
Yeah, it's all right now. Now, it's time for the weather, and for the last time ever on our programme, here is the awesome John Mitchell.
Mom, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Yes, hello again. We can't complain too much about today. A half-decent day. It was a bit of a misty start here at Newton in the Forest of Bowland, but up in South Cumbria at Levens on the River Kent there, what a beautiful morning it was. And it was also a beautiful morning down on the River Mersey at Liverpool. The sun shining there on the Dockers clock. Now, as the sun rose this morning, you can see a fair amount of sunshine to start with. Things have gone downhill a little bit through today as this high cloud has moved in from the southwest, and that's going to continue to thicken through this evening and overnight tonight, bringing with it some outbreaks of rain. It could be quite heavy in the early hours of the morning, and temperatures not as low as last night at around 11 or 12 Celsius. There is sun times for tomorrow. Over yesterday evening, sunset up at 5:18 tomorrow, setting 9:16 tomorrow evening. Bit of a wet start then, North Lancashire, South Cumbria, the Isle of Man in the morning, but that rain will pull away northwards as brighter skies edge in from the south. So a nice afternoon to come, some nice spells of sunshine and a top temperature of 21 Celsius, and a fine evening to round off the day with just partly cloudy skies. A little bit further ahead then into Friday, there will be one or two showers around, especially up towards the Pennines there. Towards the coast, I think that's where the best of the sunshine is going to be, and most of us will escape with a dry day and a high temperature of 22 Celsius. For the weekend, not so good, I'm afraid. A lot of cloud, some outbreaks of rain and drizzle coming through, quite breezy as well from the southwest. Top temperatures around maybe slightly above average at 20 Celsius, and by night dipping down to around 14 or 15 Celsius.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
Now, the grass pollen season has pretty much finished now. Tomorrow through Friday, the grass pollen count is moderate and it's low on Saturday with those cloudier skies. That's it. Enjoy your evening.
Oh, and for the last time, thank you, John. Do you know he's been doing that for 33 years, since before we were born, in fact. A huge thank you, John, from all of us here. Enjoy your retirement and being a granddad. We will miss you.
And we'll miss his amazing sense of style as well. You may never have noticed, but all day that he's doing the weather, he's changing his outfit as he goes along. Adding a little bit more.
Snappy dresser, just like yourself, Rob
ties.
Smith.
Well, that's good company. I like that. I'll take that compliment. That is it from Granada Reports tonight. We'll tomorrow be bringing you the amazing story of
Eddie the tortoise and his brand new wheels. Look at that. Poor Eddie lost his legs and his owners have found a new way to help him get around. Can't wait for that one.
Yeah, from tortoise to hare. I'll be back with our late bulletin after news at 10, but for now, from all the team, enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.
Good night. Do you know why...